Hi everyone, it's me Emily. Now welcome back to my channel. Now the last time you saw me I was obviously a bit upset. I'm over it now, but to be honest with you guys, these past couple of months, probably like since March, has been really horrendous for me and the anxiety. Now this anxiety has been like the most longest and really hardest thing that I've ever had to like cope with. Now this is going to be like a really difficult thing for me to do because I've wanted to do a video and like talk about this for quite a long time, but of course my family have been here, just my mum and my sister, and they've been at home quite a lot, so it was difficult for me to like film myself and they'd be downstairs thinking, what am I talking about? So I'm gonna bravely open up and hopefully help other people who might need this video, or some bit of reassurance, I don't know. So today's video is about my health anxiety and of course about my fear of like nose cancer hell. Now this has been going on for a long time, like ever since March actually. I've been having fears that I'm dying and feeling that, you know, I am dying. I do have cancer inside my nose, and it has been absolutely horrendous because I try so hard to like get my head off it and try and reassure myself that I'm okay. Google has again been a nightmare, which I need to stop doing, but it's been really difficult. So I'm going to tell you how it actually all started. So the first thing that happened was back in March, I felt something like go up my nose, and I thought it was like a piece of dust or something. So I was like trying to get it out and get it out. This is obviously on the left side. So I took like no notice of it, but then it came back in my head again. So there I was on the bus coming home with my mum, and I don't know why, I was like Googling it and, you know, just hoping it would like be nothing. Maybe it's just another anxiety thing. But the first thing that popped up was called like nasal polyp. Now those things are like non-cancerous, but that did not put my mind at rest because it's like, oh my God, if it's not non-cancerous, then what the hell does it mean then? And obviously it's not affected by cancer, but it really did like scare me, and it still is right now. It's like talking about it. So yeah, I feared the worst with that, and I told my mum about it, and you know, she told me, oh no, it's all right, it's probably just anxiety, it's probably just stress or something. So I tried to like get rid of that, but then I googled like the cancer symptoms. Now the thing that really did bother me, because it's like you get a blocked nose like on one-sided. Now I have had this blocked nostril for freaking months, ever since like March. Actually, it felt clogged up, it felt like something was inside it, and I kept on like, you know, picking it, which of course it led to a bit of blood on it. Now the blood is not like bad or anything, it's like you pick it and then you see a bit of blood on it, and that happened to me quite a couple of times, but it didn't happen like every day. So that kind of like reassured me a little bit, but you know, because if it was like cancer, then it would just keep going, and it will be like non-stop. So I haven't had that for a long time, well, a few weeks, let's just say it. But yeah, that has happened to me, and every time that there was a bit of blood on it, then that is when I started to panic. Now the fact that like the most common cancer is like, you know, blocked one-sided. Now over here is where I usually like feel it, and if I'm trying to like breathe in, I can still like breathe in inside, it still feels a bit blocked. But the funny thing is that I think it is unblocked, but I feel like it's in my head that I can't exactly like feel it. Now also it also like twitches around here. Now the funny thing is that about a month ago, I felt something go up on the other side of the nose, and I was picking that one as well, and again not so long ago, that's when it also led to a bit of blood as well, like not bad, just tiny little bits. So again, that gave me really bad anxiety because I thought, oh my God, I'm not, now like the other side is happening to me, so it was really scary. Now a lot of other cancer symptoms with like nasal, it's like, you know, you get headache on like around here, or like pain in one ear or something. Now I've been getting earaches as well, I think probably due to this, because the nose and the ears and the throat are all like connected. So that kind of like did scare me. It really like alarmed me a lot. But the other thing that happens to me is that this nose also like twitches and it like throbs, especially when I'm like stressed out. Now when I am calm, that's when it usually like doesn't block anymore. And of course, like, you know, I can like still breathe normal. I can still like breathe normal when it's like blocked or something. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, you know what I mean. Now with like nasal polyps or like nose cancer, I have actually like googled the pics of it on Google, obviously. Now those pictures are like extremely like disturbing, because it's like you can see like little red things or white things inside the nostril that you can actually see it. Now I don't have any of those things inside my nose, so again that does kind of like reassure me a little bit. But of course with anxiety I still feel no, I do not believe it. So I remember like a month after this happened, it was still playing up and it was still scaring me to death, and it got so much worse that I was not enjoying dance. I started working back in January and it was helping, but anyway, I'll get to that bit in a minute. So yeah, I wasn't enjoying dance because it was still affecting the anxiety and it was ruining my days all the time. And it got so much freaking worse that I knew I had to go back into therapy. Now, I spoke to my doctor. I have known my doctor for over 20 years of my life, like a very long time. So the first thing that I obviously like told him about, yeah, this side was feeling blocked and stuffy and there was a bit of blood on it as well. And the first thing my doctor asked me was, have you been eating okay and drinking? So I said, yeah, I still eat, I still drink. And he asked me, like, have you been feeling unwell with it? So I said, no, I feel fine with it. I feel great. And the doctor then told me that, he said, well, you sound fine. And then that's when he said, like, have you heard of IPAT, which is a company name for counselling? Freaking sun is in my face. I'm so sorry. I'll move the camera a bit. The sun's coming out. It's just blocking the clouds. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, the doctor told me that, you know, I'm fine, and obviously gave me like the company name for counselling, and I just said, yeah, okay, put me back on there because I can't take this anymore. I really cannot take it. It was making me like really anxious and like scared that one time I was at like the cinema with my sister, and when I'm like, and of course it was playing up again. I tried like, you know, making it better, but it like nothing was happening. So we went down the stairs and my ankle suddenly like twisted by itself and I did a really bad injury. So that is when I thought, right, I need to stop doing this now. But of course it didn't make things any better. So this is obviously the way I feel it, like with my nose and everything. It twitches and it feels blocked, and sometimes I have to like move my skin out of the way from my nose so I can breathe normal. Sometimes like, I feel a bit of pain as well inside it. Now, my mom obviously suffers from the same mental health as I do, and she's told me that she gets the exact same thing with her left nostril. So again, that it does like reassure me, because like, you know, she tells me like the exact same symptoms I get, but I don't really understand, because it's like we're two very different people. We have different bodies. It's so difficult to, you know, like really understand. So on my birthday, this was back in July, and it was still obviously like getting to me. I was working, and obviously no, I had a day off that day because it was my birthday. But on that day, that's when I decided, you know, maybe I wanted to like have a bit of a change, because back in January I worked in retail. It was a clothes shop. Now I thought to myself that, you know, now that I've got a job, I can still do dance. It will make things a lot more easier now. I can keep myself more active. But the problem is that the people I worked with, there was an old lady, there was the boss in her 40s, and there was a girl my age. Now, the old lady, bless her, let's call her Mary. Now, Mary turned 90 a few months ago, and she had skin cancer in her nose. So I think that's what really like brought the anxiety like to me, because I remember like she told me, she told like other people about it. Now, a few months ago, she had like a really huge lump inside her arm, and they all thought it was like a blood clot or something like that. And they told her that she had cancer. Now, I don't want to like scare any of you guys out, because it was like really swollen, like I've never seen anything like it before. Now, she's had to have that arm amputated. I'm not 100% sure if she did, because they couldn't guarantee her having like chemotherapy or radiotherapy, something like that. And my other friend who worked there, let's call her Kat. Now, Kat had like seizures and bad headaches and everything, and she had like 2 tumours in her brain. So I think, again, that the reason why was the anxiety got so much worse and about my nose was because of work. Now, on my birthday, that's when I decided, maybe I think it's time for a change. Now, when I decided about that, that is when I thought, right, you know what I mean? And I felt so much better. My nose was no longer playing up. It was unblocked. It unblocked. I was able to breathe normal again without it like feeling blocked. So I decided, maybe like let's try a different place. So I went to a different place with my mom, but they were like no help. So there again, I got stressed and it came back. Now I decided to take maybe like 2 weeks off of work, just try and give myself a break. And think to myself that, if work is really like the problem that's made the anxiety worse, then I'm going to have to leave. So I was off for 2 weeks. And for the first week, it still played up. And during like next week, it was still playing up. But 3 days before I went back, it was all okay. I was able to breathe again. I was a lot more happier. But when I came back, that's when things got a little bit worse for me. So, I walked in and my boss was there, and she told me like, I've been getting people saying that I'm not happy there. And the only thing is that I've never complained. I've never made a complaint about anything. So I said, well, like if I leave, I've got like nowhere to go. And then she said something about my attitude. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have a bad attitude. I'm just, trying to be mature, like a mature 24-year-old, acting like an adult. And that is when I thought, right, you know what? I've had enough. This is giving me anxiety. I can't do this anymore. So I had to make the really hard decision to leave work for good. Now, I regret it quite badly because I made such a lovely friend there. She was absolutely like lovely. But yeah, I do begin to realise maybe this is the reason why. Now, it's really hard for me to talk about, but because I've got nothing else to say. But because, yeah, I've like hardly spoken about my fear of nose cancer or something. But yeah, now, can I just say this other nostril, sometimes it does get a bit blocked, but not as badly. Like, I feel it more physically on the other side, but and more like strangely. So I don't know if that should like reassure me or if it's still alarming to me. But yeah, I remember like going to a chemist and the first thing they said that it could be like hay fever related. Now I had hay fever, like I suffered really bad with it. I was like sneezing quite badly and all that stuff. And I used like a nasal spray a few years ago, back in 2012, and I never used one ever since. So I have not been able to like use nasal sprays because I don't like trust them or anything, because I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, but this is obviously like what happens to me. Like if I'm stressed out, it plays up. If I'm calm, I'm completely fine. So just a reminder to any of you guys, if you ever feel like you have the exact same symptoms that I've noticed, just a reminder, you're not alone. I'm obviously in this, and I've been waiting a very long time to finally open up to you guys about this condition, and hopefully this will help other people in need, and I hope this will help me a lot more and make me feel more reassured, because I tried looking up group things on Facebook and they were like no help, even though they tried to reassure me. So I'm going to see you guys real soon, hopefully talk more about it. Okay, bye.